Alrighty. We should be live. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are here, TBL Season 12, Week 3. We are trucking right along. We have yet another match rounding out the week. The Venus Venusaur, coached by Boyd, taking on Chicago Phalanx, coached by Gawdbear. Won't spend too much time. We're going to get ready to jump right into this match, but just taking a quick look at these teams. We have the Sun team from Boyd, rocking Walking Wick, Roaring Moon, Bronzonk, Enamorus, Braviary, which is a Terra Captain, Torkoal, Landorus, Blaziken, Regieleki, and Venusaur. On the flip side, Chicago Phalanx bringing Iron, Valiant, Terra Captain, Dudunsparce, Rotom Heat, Ditto, Terra Captain, Scyther, Latias, Empoleon, Serena, Petrarunt, and Tinglu. Right off the bat, this feels like it's a Sun team versus an early on very heavy wall team. I have not had a chance to look over these sets, but the first thing I'm seeing is I feel like Roaring Moon here is potentially just kind of spammable with its speed stats compared to Gawdbear. Possibly Dragon Dance set, but you do run the worry of an Iron Valiant coming in at any point and just clicking Vacuum Wave, so could very easily see them running a choice item and just pivoting a lot. Walking Wake is a little bit more interesting, boosted by the Sun. Could easily see a Life Orb set there, but really curious to what extent this Sun team is going to be going. But honestly, I don't think we need to delay too much. I'm going to let both coaches know that they can search, and we're just going to get right underway. All right, and right off the bat, we can see the teams that are coming this week for the Venus Venusaurs. We have Blaziken, Torkoal, Roaring Moon, Enamorus, Walking Wake, and Landorus. Whereas on the flip side, the Mons coming for Gawdbear include Petrarunt, Empoleon, Iron Valiant, Dudunsparce, Latias, and Scyther. Should be a very interesting one right off the bat, and we shall see what these coaches are going to go with. We can see here that the Latias is Choice Scarf and Choice Specs on the Iron Valiant, which is very interesting here. We see Petrarunt is the Mon that Gawdbear is electing to go with. All right. Let's see what the game plan is here. All right, we are underway here. As a reminder, folks, please do feel free to drop a follow if you haven't already, and to check us over out on our YouTube channel, Twitch Battle League. A lot more content coming, so please come support. Right off the bat, we see Petrarunt taking on the Enamorus. While this normally is an advantage for the Petrarunt, Enamorus is indeed a Terra Captain here, so you gotta be careful with that, especially since the Enamorus is Terra Ghost. So going to be very interesting. What we do see that is interesting, the Petrarunt doesn't have its poison type attack. It's running Shadow Ball, Substitute, Recover, and Mean Look. So very interesting to see what the game plan here is out of Gawdbear. On the flip side, the Enamorus here is running Draining Kiss, Terra Blast, Calm Mind, and Taunt. So very curious here. A Taunt on this slow Mon. Very interesting. It is Terra Ghost, so curious what the game plan is here. Right off the bat, we do see that Gawdbear is going to swap the Petrarunt out and go hard into the Empoleon. Empoleon here coming in does have momentum and knockoff, so could potentially see some plays out of result. And we immediately see the Terra Pop. Enamorus is going to Terra Ghost right off the bat. And what move are we going to see come out of it? And Terra Blast is the move selected. Very interesting click there. This is going to do about 25% to the Empoleon. This Empoleon, very specially bulky. Realistically, it's not afraid of this Enamorus set, so it's going to get a freak knockoff here, because Enamorus doesn't really have anything to punish the Empoleon. So if it stays in, it's going to be taking about 35%, but instead we're going to see a hard swap, and a Mon is about to lose its item. What will it be? And play, yes, you are right, it was a little bit less than 25%. 25 was the max that it could get. And we see the Torkoal come in, and it's going to take a knockoff. Not very much damage there, but we see that the Torkoal has an eject pack knockoff, so that should immediately tell Gawdbear that Overheat is on this set. So what is going to be the play now? We see a potential flip turn option. I mean, it seems fairly free here. Get some more chip damage on the Torkoal. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Empoleon flip turning, getting some chip damage on the Torkoal. Important to note, because the Inject Pack was the move selected, we do know for a fact exactly how much or how long the sun will be around. Petrick comes in and Stealth Rocks comes out, and they are officially up on the side for Gawdbear. Gawdbear's team does, in theory, have hazard removal mons, but they did not bring them. So those rocks are here to stay. Could be a potential issue for a number of mons. And here we see Mean Look come out. Oh, very interesting. The plan here was to trap the Torkoal, and we see Overheat immediately, and that's going to be some big damage, but that is going to take the Torkoal special attack drop immensely. And as a result, the Petrunt's special defense is also going to go up from its Moringa Berry. Oh, this is a wild set here. And now the Torkoal is trapped in here, and its Overheat's not going to do nearly as much. We see Substitute get clicked, and I believe at this range, Overheat won't break without a crit. We see Earth Power, but I don't even think that's going to break at this point. Unless, of course, they get the crit. Just as we foretold. But I don't think Gawdbear's too worried. They do have Recover. They can get well back out of range here. Get some good recovery. Another Earth Power is going to come up, and oh my gosh, that does minimal damage. But they get the Spadef Fall. My goodness. Gawdbear's RNG to start this season has been atrocious. I believe that's just a 10% chance there. So Gawdbear Spadef goes back to neutral. Earth Power, not going to be enough to break a Substitute, however, still. But right off the bat, we see a crit right into the Spadef drop. This Earth Power is going to come out. It should not break without another crit. And the Substitute remains hugely staying up there for Gawdbear. We're going to see another Recover. Gawdbear is trying to play this as safe as possible while making sure that the Torkoal loses its advantage and stall out the sun. So honestly, a really creative set here out of Gawdbear. And another crit. Holy crap. This one does not matter. But my goodness. Absolutely huge. So no more sun. It's not going to have the sun anymore. And this sun team is kneecapped immensely as a result. But this Torkoal getting crit after crit and Spadef drop. Absolutely insane here. Shadow Ball is going to come out here. It should do about 33-ish%, give or take 2% on either side. Another Earth Power. This should destroy the Substitute this time. But this Petron, I think it was designed specifically to ensure that this Torkoal could not be a threat, and it's doing its job immensely well. Another Earth Power, once again, will not break without a crit. And keep in mind, this is a max Spadef, or special attack Torkoal taking on a near max Spadef Petrunt. The Overheat being what was selected, honestly playing a huge factor here, because that Spadef drop early on really making this a lot closer than it would have been originally without. So expecting to see another Substitute here out of Gawdbear, barring another crit. This will help to ensure that the Petrunt is able to take out the Torkoal cleanly. No crit, so the Substitute is going to remain up, and we're just going to see Shadow Ball come out. I don't think it will kill from this range, but it'll be very close. Torkoal once again going to go for the Earth Power. This should break it once again. And I think we're going to see out of Gawdbear just another safe play of getting the substitute up, recovering up a bit, keep this healthy. Oh, no, we're just going to see it go for the kill. Looks like this Mon's purpose has essentially been completed by taking out the Torkoal, and absolutely huge. But I will call out one very important thing about this. Rocks are up, and they're staying up, and that is going to be terrifying for the Scyther, which will take 50% damage right on switch-in because it's not heavy-duty boots. So Torkoal is going to be going down, but its effects are not going to be unfelt. We see immediately Blaziken come in here now, and I don't know what the game plan is, but I think you just have to sack, and that's exactly what we're going to see. But it's going to live. The Penchant's going to live. Blaziken's going to take recoil damage, reveal the life orb as well, and it's going to take a Shadow Ball. So absolutely huge there. That puts this Blaziken on a much shorter timer now, thanks to the life orb. It is going to get another Flare Blitz off, but that's going to be another roughly 10% damage when all is said and done for the Blaziken to take. So it does pick up the kill, but not without taking some very important damage. Now, this Blaziken is going to be at +2 speed, so this does get a bit spooky, and it'll be a question of how Gawdbear wants to handle it. If this Iron Valiant has Vacuum Wave, I think it's a very safe click. It does, and I think that's just a safe way to ensure that this thing can get taken out without anyone else having to take a hit. So Iron Valiant comes in. This has to be screaming, hey, I'm about to click a priority move. See if Void can make the read. They go with Protect, scouting out the move. Absolutely huge. Unfortunately, Enamorus is the only thing that can really swap in here. So now it's going to be kind of a game of cat and mouse. I don't think Gawdbear is going to risk it, try and, make it overread. But we are going to see Void play it safe, take away all the speed boosts, and go into Landorus. Interesting. Not the Mon that I was expecting out there. We see the Intimidate. Vacuum Wave still going to pop. That's going to do a chip of damage. Not a ton, but the important thing there is it does get the Blaziken back out. Now, we do see Landorus is leftovers, so it is going to get some recovery there. Question now is, what is Gawdbear going to go into on this? All right, we see Latias come in on the Landorus. What is the move of choice? Earthquake. Latias going to be immune thanks to Levitate. Absolutely safe here. So Landorus will be able to get some recovery, but now it's in a bit of a precarious situation. It really does not want to stay in, so what's going to come in on this Mon now? Because there's only one Mon that can realistically take an Ice Beam, and it's very weak. So instead, we are going to see the Landorus get sacked. Latios picking up a kill with that Ice Beam for huge damage. Very well said, Playmaker. Call her Dua Lipa because she is levitating. This has indeed been a great match so far. I gotta say, that Pet Front set, absolutely impressive as can be out of Gawdbear. I think that was a brilliant way to take this Sun team on. And Gawdbear is playing this extremely well. And I also just realized that he named this Empoleon Nightwing, and so I am an even bigger fan now, and I love it. I just love it. We see a Calm Mind come out from the Enamorus. So it'll be interesting to see what the play is here. Gawdbear did reveal earlier that they are running a knockoff on this Empoleon, so that's going to be a big answer here. Do we see it get clicked? We do. We see Taunt. This Empoleon is naturally slow, probably to allow for some of the different options around the flip turn. And so the Taunt is going to connect, likely wanting to prevent, say, a Yawn strategy, which this does not have, but knocking off that leftovers is going to be huge. That did about 33% roughly, again, give or take 2. So now that the lefties are gone, Draining Kiss is the only recovery. And right now, Draining Kiss is doing maybe at most 15%. It's not recovering much. And so we're going to see the flip turn come out here, take the Anam down to below 50%. And again, it is not a fast Mon. And we do see the Scyther. Oh, this could be very interesting. The Scyther will outspeed. It's going to take a lot of damage from the switch in, sitting in at 51%. But Night Slash here going to do some big damage, and it's going to pick up the kill. Was that a crit? It was. I think that mattered based off the damage roll. This had a lot of bulk put into the Anam, but that was absolutely huge. And after all the crits and stat drops earlier, Scyther getting a bit of good RNG back on Gawdbear's side. So the Anam's going to go down. The Venus Venusaurs are already down to their last 3 Mons, and it's not looking good. We are going to see immediately come out the Roaring Moon. This is a choice banded Roaring Moon. So it's just going to click Iron Head. That is going to be enough to pick up the kill. So Roaring Moon bringing it back down. Gawdbear now down to just 4 remaining Mons. If Gawdbear can manage to pick up a victory without losing any more, then they will secure 3 points. And so this is a pivotal position, taking it back. But Gawdbear playing in a strong position, not allowing the RNG to affect them. And then when RNG came back, it was absolutely huge for them. Also, folks, I do apologize for the song that's currently playing. If you do feel the need to grab a box of tissues, it is completely understandable. I am debating doing so right now. So if you hear me sniffling, someone's cutting onions near me. Now, we see that Gawdbear elects to go into the Dunsparce. Goes for the Terra Fairy. Oh, this could be devastating. Oh, no. Not realizing that this is a choice-locked Roaring Moon. Iron Head now potentially going to do a lot of damage, except it's a Berry Resist. It's going to do next to nothing, and Terra Blast is going to kill Gawdbear with the prediction. Oh my goodness, this Terra Blast is just going to absolutely annihilate, taking down the Roaring Moon. Or not, my goodness. According to my calcs, that should have been a guaranteed kill. How was it not? I'm curious what might have happened there, because according to the calcs that I'm looking at, Terra Blast should have been 100% effective to kill there. So I don't know how it didn't. Do we see the flinch axe come out? We don't, so it is going to still pick up the kill. I'm wondering if some of the sets might not have been exact that I was given. I don't know how that Roaring Moon lives. But the Dunsparce picking up officially the point for Gawdbear, so no matter what happens here, Gawdbear is going to secure at least 1 point. Blaziken coming in now. This is on a timer no matter what it wants to do because of the limitations around it having Life Orb. Does Gawdbear try to go for the 3 points, or do they just play it safe? And it looks like Gawdbear is going to play it safe. They are going to sack the Dunsparce, allow this Mon to go down, and ensure that they have something that can come in safely here. I don't necessarily disagree. You don't want to accidentally swap in a Mon into a knockoff or anything along those lines. So I don't necessarily disagree with that play. Now, we are going to see the Iron Valiant come in. Iron Valiant now. We see the Blaziken hard swap out. Interesting choice. Walking Wake is going to come in, and it's going to take the Vacuum Wave here. And it's going to do a chip, not a ton, but enough that you really don't like it. Now that the Walking Wake is in, this is an interesting set. It is running Assault Vest, which is why it took so little there. And the Empoleon Nightwing comes in, and it's going to eat this Hydra Steam like it is nothing. This is where it gets a little bit rough for Boyd. Empoleon here without any crits, the most damage it's taking is from a Draco Meteor, and that's 23%. We see the knockoff come out, But it comes out first, revealing that this is clicked Dragon Tail, so we're going to see that connect, and it's going to force the switch out, but not before it loses its Assault Vest. And at this point, depending on what comes in here, this could just be game over. Yep, Iron Valiant's going to come right back on in here, and I think Gawdbear, knowing that they don't have a ton of speed on this, that it's possible for the Walking Wake to outspeed the Valiant, is going to just play this safe and go right back into the Mon that isn't going to be, impacted here. Save the win cons, essentially. It's already been revealed to be Assault Vest, and so not needing to risk taking an unfortunate move. So it goes right back in. We are going to just see a flip turn here, which is interesting. They go for, Boyd goes for a knockoff themselves, removing the leftovers, and we're going to see a flip turn here, bringing the Walking Wake down to about 49% roughly. And I think at this point, Latios can essentially just come in and clean things up with a Dragon Pulse. Now it's just a question of whether or not Boyd will be securing any points at all. But yeah, this Latios just clicked Dragon Pulse, and it should pick up one other kill. We are going to see it come out, we are going to see it connect, and we are going to see it kill the Walking Wake. So it's now Blaziken and its Life Orb against the world, and I don't think it's going to be enough. Blaziken comes in extremely weak. It can protect once, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. We see Boyd elect to allow it to just go down here, giving Latios its third kill and securing a 3-0 victory for Gawdbear. Absolutely insane match, insane ending. And I'm going to make an executive decision here. I apologize, but I am taking over voting for MVP. I feel like there is only one correct answer here, and I am going to be sharing it here. Gawdbear, hello, welcome, congratulations on the win. Insane sets and great plays there. Insanely well done.
Thank you. I think I won the game when I managed to trap his Torkoal in, because once his Torkoal went down, it kind of felt like his team lost a lot of the momentum that it needed to break my team down.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually are in agreement on the stream. I was going to take the vote over and force Petrunt to be MVP. I didn't have to do anything. Chad is already agreeing with me on this. But Petrunt, mean look, absolutely insane. Trapping the Torkoal, making it so that way the Sun on the Sun team just went away. Very well played. Very well done. Yeah. Well-earned win.
Thank you. I got a couple lucky crits, I think, but I think most of it, I don't think a lot of them really mattered, it felt like. But
the only one that did was the Scyther picking up the kill on the Anam.
Yeah, but after that, it would have been low enough where
oh yeah, not to impact the game, just the diff. It. Yeah. No, yeah. Very very much agreed with that. But saw early some of the RNG not going your way. Very good prep on your part with the substitute and the recovery, to making it so that way the 2 crits and the Spadef drop from the Earth Power did not matter in early games. Yeah. So very well done there.
Yeah, I was playing to that Petrunt that was literally meant to just play around the crit, because I don't trust Boyd's RNG, because he's known to have pretty good RNGs, and I have pretty atrocious RNG a lot. So I was like, I'm just gonna have someone here play around the crit and go from there.
Yeah, well, very well done. That actually is going to bump you up all the way to 4 points. So at the moment, points-wise, you are tied for third, just losing to the Roman Polions based off a 1 Mon diff. But very well played, great positioning there, and honestly, I think, the sets you brought were creative, and they were done in a very well fashion, to where you found a way to take the Sun out of the Sun team.
Yeah, that was definitely the plan going into this game.
Well, very well done. Won't take up too much of the time, but we'll go ahead and wrap things up there. Any final words before we sign off?
I'm good. Just GG to Boy. That was a really fun game, and
It was.
looking forward to the next games, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great game. Boyd, well played. We appreciated uh, the showing you put up. Just unfortunately, sometimes when the creative set you're not prepared for comes out, it can send things spiraling. But that'll do it for us here. Once again, we want to thank you here at TBL for coming in and tuning in. We appreciate every time you stop by. Please continue to follow and continue to watch our matches. And again, uploads and replays will be uploaded to YouTube at Twitch Battle League. So please give us a stop there. But until we see you next time, whatever you're doing in life, just have fun with it. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.